Good morning.
Good morning, Jeremy. How are you today?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just got off work and just live. Didn't realize it popped up there like that. But what deal is it?
I am working on sharing this thing out.
All right. So while you're doing that, today we're going to be reviewing the Survivor Series War Games 2025. Um, it was, it was a decent, I guess, review as far as the show goes. We'll get into details of comments about the whole show and all there. Finally got to see Raw last night on a replay, which sadly we were discussing before we come on air that Raw was actually better than Survivor Series this year.
I would have to agree.
They had it built up a great deal over the past couple of weeks, before the PLE, and then the PLE coming on, just I don't know, there was a lot of hype behind it that to me did not fulfill the hype. Now I'm getting the same kind of census from a lot of folks on social media and stuff that were rating it the worst PLE of the year. I saw one post where it said
Hmm.
Survivor Series, uh, second to worst. I don't know what the first one would be.
Trying to find a link so that. Oh no, I made a typo.
Change it on the original, and it'll transfer over to the rest of them. I've done that before.
Well, the thing is, I would have to change it on all of them because we're streaming to 9 different locations. So I would have to change.
Well, it should change over if you're sharing it two different groups. If you edit the first one,
Well, yeah.
it'll clean all the rest of them up.
Let's see.
So it is weather report. It is 33 degrees here in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, and the real feel is 33.
What's the degree?
33. And I'm freezing my tail off.
It is 21 here.
You keep that up there.
It, there we go.
37 is a cold tonight. 31 tomorrow night. Let's go for 45 tomorrow here. And we got winter weather next. Ooh, crap. Monday's gonna be 29 degrees. Oh, crap. For those of you who don't know, I hate cold weather. I hate
I'm okay with cold as long as it's not the bitter cold. Um, and
anything below freezing to be a bitter cold.
I'm also good with snow, but no ice.
The snow not that bad, but we get a lot more ice than we do snow here, um, which people around here can't drive anyway. So it's crazy. Our snow is usually less than 2 inches easily. And it's like people go nuts, when they hear snow. It could like dust the ground. People are running. grocery store to buy all the bread and milk and toilet paper up.
You would hate it up here. A couple of days ago, we had 4 inches of snow dumped on us. And then, no, that was 4 days ago. 2 days ago, we had an additional 3 inches dumped on us. And tonight, we are expecting 1 to 2 more.
See, here they would shut everything down.
Yeah.
We got that kind of stuff because we're not equipped, to deal with that far as like highway maintenance and everything else. We don't have the equipment to move that type of
Southern states aren't. Like I know that Texas shuts down if they even get 1 inch of snow. It shut me down because I was supposed to be on the road Monday and tomorrow. There was an appointment down near Indy tomorrow, and now I'm going to have to do that virtual. If if it was a half hour away, that'd be okay, but that's 2 hours. So it kind of shut me down. You know, I don't like it, but it is what it is. But I'll tell you, last year we may have had 5 days total where we got snow, and our first snow last year, I don't think we even got until after Christmas.
really.
Yeah, and
Well,
to, we got our this year we got our first snow on Thanksgiving Day.
it turned cold here quicker than normal. Usually this time of year here, it's heck, you can still wear shorts. Um, it seems like winter has hit early here, and from what I saw, it don't look like it's letting up.
It's it's making up for last year up here.
Yeah, I mean, it's been Christmases where it's been 70s here.
We had that a couple years ago. It was about 60 some. I was able to walk from my house to Dad's house and not even have a jacket on Christmas Day. Uh,
How far of a walk is it?
he's just right across the street from me.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah. Um, then there was another recent Christmas where it rained on Christmas Day. I think I want to say last year we did have snow on Christmas. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure we did. And I'm pretty sure we're going to end up with a white Christmas this year.
Yeah, considering you already got snow.
Yeah, yeah. So we already got 6 to 7 inches, but some of it is melted away, but everything is still very very covered. Um, it's just letting us know, hey, winter's here now.
Yeah,
Uh, Before we get started, we should acknowledge um, the death of Larry Brooks. If he had a last name, I'm pretty sure they considered him as such. So Larry is the dog of CM Punk and AJ Lee. Um, it was just announced yesterday, but there's a lot of people thinking that he might have actually passed away before Survivor Series. Because some people noticed that CM Punk was a little more on the emotional side uh, when he was coming out for his entrance, and his jacket said Larry's dad, and he was clutching it pretty hard. So there's the thought out there that Larry had actually passed away before Survivor Series.
that makes sense. I remember seeing the Larry stuff thing.
Yeah. Um, I didn't notice anything on AJ's side, but I think people have been paying more attention to CM Punk because he tends to wear his heart on his sleeve a little
Yeah,
more.
with and there's a lot of people. It's like it's just a dog. It's part of their family, especially when you raise it
Oh, absolutely.
for
That's
something like that.
that's basically your child.
Right. I mean, we've had countless, pets pass, and I guess our poodle has been gone for about a year now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Now I have never gone through the death of a pet, even though I've had three dogs. Um, but every time I've had a dog, I had to give them away because we were moving. Um, so I've never actually experienced that. I'm kind of glad I never did because I know that's heart wrenching.
yeah.
So okay, so Survivor Series 2025 was in San Diego, California, at Petco Park. The attendance is 46,016, which is a pretty healthy crowd.
Yeah.
Um,
In a baseball park at that.
right. So I was actually, with it being a baseball park, I was kind of hoping they would do like what they did with the Rumble that one year. I think in Florida, where you see the wrestlers coming out of the dugout, but we didn't see that here. Four matches. That's all they had. Four matches. Um, I know a lot of fans are very upset about it, but the problem is at the arenas, you don't hear that disappointment.
Right.
So it's all online chatter. Um, and then here's another thing that I never thought about. Um, Not necessarily the 4 or 5 matches thing. So they moved to ESPN last year. The last few years, Survivor Series has been the last PLE of the year.
Hmm.
So there is nothing in December if you don't count NXT. And then this year, the Royal Rumble wasn't until February, so there was nothing in January. And that is not going to happen this time because, well, almost. But if that were to happen, that means people would be paying $60 for ESPN. Or no, is it 29 or 39 they're paying a month?
I'm not sure if I'm not a subscriber. So
So, so they'd be paying that much for ESPN if they were only getting it for WWE and have nothing for December or January.
it'd be one of those things where I'd cancel a subscription until um, and start it back up once pay-per-view start or
Yeah.
PLEs. But I don't subscribe to it, so and I refuse to have another streaming service.
So that's kind of another shitting on the fans, American fans at least. Yeah, their business practice has gone off the wall. I will say that.
High ticket sales, or high ticket prices, not ticket sales, high ticket prices. Along with the whole ESPN thing, it's putting sour taste in a lot of people's mouth. Um, I will say this. I don't know if you've gotten to watch the Blood and Guts PLE yet,
Not yet.
but as far as if I had to compare the two, there's no competition. Blood and Guts just destroyed Survivor Series.
The thing about AEW, I don't watch their show, but I see clips, and a lot of these clips to me are really bad. Like they say they got the best wrestlers in the world there, but when I see bits and pieces of their matches, it's like these guys are terrible.
The two Blood and Gut cage matches, which basically the same thing as War Games, same setup, everything. Those two matches were good. Now I will say this: that I've seen some singles matches that were like, these. There's a reason they're there and not in WWE
Yeah,
because they're just not as good. Um,
and it's not just the matches, but the promos
Storyline,
that they do.
and
Uh,
that's a big part of it.
yeah, there was one I remember specifically that involved Tony Schiavone. It was I want to say is FTR, where they were attacking Schiavone, but the way that they did it, it was like they were waiting like for certain things, and it just threw the timing of that whole segment off. Uh, I don't know. It's just I had a lot of high hopes for AEW, and they're doing really well. It seems like because they have a TV deal, so that's big. Just on that, um, but they don't seem to be delivering like they should be. They're not even hitting a million viewers at all. It seems.
And I'm sure they got another pay per view coming up, another PLE coming up soon. I haven't really looked. Um,
It seems like they have gotten to monthly pay-per-views now, and that's another issue that I have heard is that they stream their pay-per-views to like uh, HBO Max and things like that, but
mhm.
unlike ESPN, you have your subscription price to HBO Max, and then you still have to pay extra to get
Right.
the EW pay-per-views. Um, I
I
don't.
watched matches on YouTube. I actually got to look them up and took me a little bit, but I finally found the videos of them, and yeah, they were really good.
Okay, so AEW just had Full Gear, which was on November 22nd. Their next one is World's End, which is December 27th. And, oh, it's in Illinois, up in the Chicago area. So if I really, really wanted to, I could go.
I'm sure ticket sales are a lot cheaper.
That's something that Tony Khan has said. He's been especially emphasizing this ever since that Mark Shapiro interview where he said that Vince McMahon was focusing on families instead of maximizing his pricing. Now Tony Khan is emphasizing on the whole pricing for families, which
Makes sense.
it makes perfect sense because that ultimately would help him get the people. But that's the thing; it doesn't seem like they are getting. Well, let's see here.
Well,
Actually, I take that back. They've had Well, they've had 6,300 at Wrestle Dream, 12,000 at All Out, almost 19,000 at Forbidden Door, 21,000 at All In, which was the one in Texas. So they're getting decent numbers, but it doesn't seem like they're actually filling the entire arenas that they're in. That's the problem.
Well, to me, if WWE would lower their prices to where it was more affordable for more folks to come, which I'm sure they're still, packed houses, but to me, you could probably pack even more depending on what venue you're in. Two, the more people you have, which means more merchandise, concessions,
Mhm.
more sales all around there. Um, so it's kind of like in my thing, where there's equipment and stuff like that you know parents and students have to be in martial arts. If I took and sold a lot of the stuff that they need in my place, for the retail price, you know, parents are just going to go online and get it because they can get a lot, most of the time, a lot cheaper.
I'm glad you brought that up because somebody had posted. I want to say it was early, actually maybe around WrestleMania time, where you would get the replica championship belts. You can get those for $400 or $500 online on WWE Shop. But when they went to the event and the same belt was for sale, it was about $700.
Hmm.
They upped the price. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's like my stuff. I don't. I sell everything at a bigger discount than you can get, directly from the supplier,
Well,
and I can sell more of it as opposed to not selling any, and they just go buy it from somewhere else. I make a little bit off of it, not much, but a little bit's better than none.
yeah.
You know.
Unfortunately, it's not really WWE. It's TKO that's doing this, and they are catering to the people who are willing to go in debt to go to their shows and get their stuff, and that's the problem. I'm not willing to go into debt. That's not happening. I can't afford to. And there's a lot of people out there today that can't afford to because after the pandemic basically destroyed our economy, there's a lot of people who still have not been able to recover from that.
Yeah, you're having to, everything is higher.
Yeah,
I'm more worried about getting groceries and keeping my lights and gas and everything, my utilities on than I am worried about going to a pay per view or PLE. So it's the priorities.
exactly. So TKO is not doing their fans any favors, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so so let's get into the matches. Um, First match was the women's War Games match. Um, AJ Lee, Alyssa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Um, and just like last year, it was like this match was put together in the last couple of weeks. I don't think they even had a match announced until 3 weeks before the event. So already that's not a lot of build up time. So they are selling these events just based on name recognition.
Right. As far as the babyface team, I agree with everyone that was in there. Um, Yeah. Nia Jax, yeah, but I don't see where they should have picked somebody besides Lashley. I mean, she just got there.
I think that was kind of the point for this to be, even though she was in the Rumble this year. Um, but this was her first match on the main card, on the main roster, which is what Michael Cole said. Um, I actually like her, but the whole pairing with her and Nia Jax just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Except that those two are probably the two biggest women on the roster in terms of height and size. So they would be a monster team. But other than that, I don't see any connection between those two.
Right. That match as a whole was really good. Um, I enjoyed, of course, y'all have you were like skittish with the Io Sky and the garbage can because as soon as she came to the ring and she's carrying a garbage can lid, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna see a garbage can before it's all over with.
Yeah, I know. And they even had her name on
Oh
that.
yeah, it was customized paint,
Yeah.
can too. Now the one thing I did notice on this compared to the men's war games, everybody that I saw, I think everybody brought something down with them.
Uh,
Either
uh,
garbage can lid, chains,
yeah,
kendo sticks.
garbage can. Eel brought the lid. Uh,
You know,
Some
they had a
in the kendo sticks.
yeah, they had a lot more weapons brought right on into war games, right into the cell. Whereas most of your guys came down and didn't bring anything, but some of them did grab, I think, some chairs, maybe a kendo stick, and a table, and that's about all I saw.
Jimmy Uso brought the table.
Hmm.
Um,
Logan Paul went out and got chairs
yeah.
before he went in, and then I think somebody Roman maybe brought a kendo stick, maybe.
Roman didn't have a chance to bring anything in. He got
Yeah, that's right.
it was him and Brock. Um, but yeah, the whole thing it scares me for Io because her luck is going to run out at some point. Um, she did the Swanton dive this year. She did the I think the moonsault last year. It, you can't see.
Yeah, I'm guessing she's already in place. She knows where she's going.
I know. Um, but at the same time, this also makes them look bad when she does this because she has to wait until everybody gathers round and
Hmm.
they have to wait on her to jump.
Right.
So, as awesome the sight of it may look, but it at the same time makes them all look really bad because it's being very apparent. Okay, well we gotta wait down here for her to come down so we can catch her. It,
Right.
um, Last year was especially bad because when she was on the one corner and Tiffany Stratton was on the other corner, and Tiffany was waiting on Io to jump so that she could jump at the same time because Io was the one who had to lead it because she couldn't see Tiffany.
Right.
That one looked especially bad. Um, but really, I wish they would stop these spots because it makes it look just as bad as it does good.
Yeah,
But that's
it
my criticism of
takes
it.
the whole realism out of it when you have to sit there
Yes.
and wait. I get it.
Oh, goody! I got a spam call coming in from New York.
Well, I just declined one while ago. So.
Yeah. And as soon as it says, "Hi, I'm call assist by Google," it says, "Hi there. Report a spam. Please remove this number." Oh, I hate these people. They always they find a loophole somehow around this do not call list.
Oh yeah, and they're, what they call the things they put on a different number. You know, a different number comes on your caller ID that has nothing to do with what's actually on the other end. Because I'll even get local numbers.
Perfect example. I actually got a call from Walgreen, not Walgreens, Walgreen.
Walgreen
Yeah, to make me think that I was getting a call from
from
the.
Walgreens.
Yeah, they. I, I gotta give them credit for trying. And if people aren't really paying attention, they'll answer. Uh, but it's irritating. Um, one thing that kind of got me, where fans were kind of criticizing AJ Lee, they said that she did nothing in the match. I disagree with that. I thought she did plenty, even though she was the last entrant for the face team. But people are saying she did nothing.
Now she was still pretty active in there. Now
That's what I thought.
she's the last one in, so you don't have a whole lot of time. It's like the same thing with Lesnar and Roman at the end of that. They weren't in there very long before the match was over.
Yeah, but I thought all 10 of them, even Lash, who was the very last one in, but all 10 of them, I thought were quite active. Now, what surprised me was Charlotte and Asuka started this thing off, and it was just the night before that it was those two who fought each other for the advantage match.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of surprised that it was those same two that started this whole thing off. I figured they both would have been further down the line and like maybe Alexa and let's say Kyrie
Mm-hmm.
started off. I thought Becky would have been the last one, the very last one to come in because she didn't want to go against AJ.
Right.
So when she came in, what was it, second or third
Mm-hmm.
for the team? I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, I was surprised by the way the wrestlers went in order as far as like that, especially the women's. The men's, you kind of knew now. The surprise thing to me was Cody coming in early. I didn't expect him to be in there as early as he was.
Yeah,
Um,
I I have a lot to say about that one.
so
Um, Rhea looked downright scary with that mask of hers.
when she had that mask coming on, I saw it coming in. I'm like, and I kind of looked at it. I was like, oh, that's Terrifier.
Yeah,
Oh, she's got the whole Terrifier look from Art the Clown. And I read where uh, Tom Savini, one of his uh, guys, helped design that mask and all.
oh, I hadn't heard. I heard that she has a role in Terrifier 4.
I saw the clip to it weeks back. She's on a stage at a rock concert, and crowd's going nuts and all that. Art the Clown comes on stage, and
Yeah, so
she gets killed by Art on the stage. Of course, the band's still playing, and people are going
that's
nuts. It was part of the show.
that's what Rhea had said that was one of her goals. She wanted to be killed by Art. And now That pisses me off because I got to go get that whole series simply because she's in that movie, and I have had no interest in getting it.
One is really, it's low budget, and it goes back to I think All Hallows Eve or yeah, Hallows Eve.
I actually
Little
had
shorts,
the second one of that one.
little shorts here and there, short films before they come out with Terrifier 1. And it's, of course, horror movies aren't scary to me, but this is, the kills in there, it's a lot of blood and gore. A
Yeah,
lot of
I
blood
have no
and gore.
interest in it.
Um, and of course, 1. 2 was decent. I didn't care for the whole way it ended. I won't spoil it all for you, but I didn't care for the writing uh, towards the end part. It just didn't make realistic sense. Um, and of course, I watched 3. 3 was very dark, just as bloody as the others. And I kind of had an idea, and we're getting off subject of Terrifier. Uh, 1, at the end of it, where he basically dies, I won't say, it all happens, but he comes back in 2. And after seeing him, die in 1, how they can have 2 with him come back? It's like immediately it's like because they don't give any backstory yet. It's supposed to be coming out in 4, but immediately it's like this guy is a demon of some kind because there's no way to survive from 1 to 2.
Okay, so Art the Clown made his debut in The Ninth Circle, which is a short film in 2008, and then a short film called Terrifier in 2011. And it's because of those two. Okay, both short films were included in the anthology film All Hallows Eve, which then had the sequel, and then Terrifier basically spun out from that.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, Rhea, but the way that she's able to widen her eyes, not many people are able to do that. The only other person I've seen that could do that was Hulk Hogan. Um, and when she has that black makeup around her eyes, that really it really makes them pop.
Right.
And when she had that mask, she looked downright terrifying.
And that whole because she did it on in the match where she has the mask on and she's doing the whole Art the Clown wave.
Oh, she's been doing that for a long time.
That's where she got it from.
Is it? Okay.
It's got that evil grin with it. That's a direct Terrifier thing.
And on Raw, when everybody came out, she was the one who got the biggest pop.
Mm-hmm.
She's basically the biggest women's star right now there is.
Mm-hmm. And
Uh,
she's one of those that doesn't have the title to use
right,
her.
right. Now, going into war games, they have been emphasizing that anybody who leaves the cage forfeits for the team. So immediately I thought Becky Lynch,
Mm-hmm.
that she's going to leave the cage to get away from AJ, and that was going to cost them the match. And I was thinking the same thing for Jey Uso for the men's, that, but in his case, he would get pissed off about something and leave
Right.
in spite. Uh, Obviously, neither actually happened, though. Nikki did try to leave, but was stopped. And then AJ put her in that Widowmaker, or the Black Widow, whatever it's called. Um, and she did it flawlessly this time. Because when she
Yeah,
she do it at WrestlePalooza, she struggled, but when she did it this time around, it was like she never stopped doing it.
right. It looked really good, and I like the way they're going with Becky playing this whole victim card over and over. Uh,
Yeah.
I like that, and even getting on social media on Instagram and all that, and you know, pumping it up a great deal. Instagram,
And
social media.
to Adam Pierce, remember that one?
Yeah, I mean that whole social media presence. We all know it's scripted and all that, but that whole social media presence coming on there and posting, stuff about the show, about your character, and stuff like that. It's just another avenue to push your character even more. And I do like that. I like the her playing the whole victim card. I like where they're going with that.
Mhm.
Uh, and I see down the line somewhere her and Jessica Carr is going to get into it. I just see that coming.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I'm ready for that one
so
because Becky said something. Somebody said something along the lines that the last 5 matches that Becky has lost, Jessica has been the official in it.
right,
So something is definitely happening there.
I would say probably the first of the year. If you don't have a whole lot of time now, if you try to start building stuff up now, it's going to be.
What if those two have a match at WrestleMania?
They'd have to build it way up. They're going to get go ahead and get that whole storyline going more than just she's official for her matches. Some kind of big altercation has got to happen uh, at the
Well,
first of the year.
remember the whole thing about long-term storylines is put little sprinkles here and there, and then you just keep building, slowly building, and finally everything explodes at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I could see them. I mean, how many times can you have her and AJ go at it? You know,
That
you
would
have
be a logical thing, but I think the more interesting story is the one with
oh,
Jessica.
I do too. I do too.
Unless they do a tag team and have AJ teaming with Jessica against Becky and whoever. But I don't see right now who that second person would be, who Becky's partner would be.
After watching Raw last night, because I was like, you know, spoiler alert, but you had Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Rhea and Io. And I'm guessing they were going to push it to the point of number one contender for the female tag titles. Well, then you got the Kabuki Warriors jumping in at the very end of it and beating everybody down, and then you got Judgment Day jumping in.
Yeah,
Then you had Bailey and uh,
Lyra.
Laura come in before Judgment Day come in. Now you got 5 tag teams. Because at first I was like, all right, well, Kabuki Warriors jumped in and interrupted the whole match, caused a disqualification. Well, now it's like, all right, now they're going to have a triple threat for the titles. Okay. Well, then you got these other 2 teams jumping in. Now I'm like, what the hell are they going to do? Because you ain't got the 4 ring posts. If you have 4, I could see 4 tags, but you got 5. So I'm
We
wondering how
at
they're going to
some
work all
point
that out.
had 6 teams battling in that ladder match. Remember?
Yeah, but that's where they're all in at the same time, correct?
It was.
Now that's the only way they could do that with 5 is to have a tornado tag.
They'll have to come up with something unless they do a gauntlet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe they'll have a tournament type thing, but
Yeah.
um, I don't know. They could do a tornado tag with all five in there.
I
Plus
don't
some
know.
ladders. Of course, that would be no DQ, so you know there's going to be ladders and tables and all that stuff coming in.
It's going to be interesting. So Team Rhea, they won by Becky Lynch tapping out or not tapping out as she was waving at her teammates to come get
They're
her.
all on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, somebody pointed something out that I didn't catch. When Io came down with the trash can and they were all on the floor, Io was actually laying on top of one of the opponents. I think maybe it might have been Lash, and and technically the referee should have counted because she was on top of somebody
Was
for a
she still
cover.
was she still in the? Well, I saw another botch where there was two people being pinned at the same time. Don't remember exactly who it was, but one kicked out and the other one was still being covered, and it just kind of went away.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
I saw that and I was like, well, we got this one over here that's pinned. She kicked out, but this one's still being pinned, and they just finally just let her up.
Yeah, so it was a good women's match. Not the best War Games match that they've ever had, but it was pretty decent.
It was decent. You had a little bit of blood, uh, not a whole lot, but just a little bit.
Somebody actually got busted open.
I think Becky had a little bit of blood on her. I'm trying to think of who else. If somebody else, maybe EO, somebody had a little blood on them. Maybe Alexa. I don't know. I did see just a little bit of blood.
Okay, because I know that some of the men were bleeding, but I didn't notice the women.
It was very minute, and it wasn't, where it was like just kept on, you know,
Okay,
digging at it. I
so
saw I saw where Io was wrapped up. Her elbow was all wrapped up on Raw, and she was coming down the ring with Rhea on Raw, coming down the ring, and you could see her sitting there, and she was purposely not tagging fans with that bad arm. She was reaching over and clapping hands as she went down.
yeah,
You could see her kind of doing this. It's like, oh, she's got hurt arm. Well, then they got in the ring, started talking about wanting to go for the tag titles, blah blah blah. And I was like, she's hurt. How is she going to get in there? And then of course the match went on. It's like she didn't. I didn't see her wince or anything, and not use her arm at all. It's like it was bandaged up for no reason.
well,
Unless it,
when you get to a match like that, something's got to get banged up.
yeah, unless it's a cut or something on her arm and she's got it wrapped up. But when she came to the ring, it looked very noticeable that she was in pain with that arm. But during the match, you didn't see any of that.
Uh, you never know. So the next match is John Cena defending the Intercontinental title against Dominic Mysterio. To me, this was match of the night.
This was the best match of the night. First match is supposed to be really, and it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good. But your second match is supposed to be the kind of lackluster type, but this one, it was a good match. Um, I was pulling for Dom. Um, get the title back. I just think it works better for him right now.
Hmm.
Um, but that whole match was good, and the ending was just the writers outdid themselves on the ending. To me, the whole interference and everything else, and the whole storyline on the ending was good.
The the Penta spot that scared a lot of people, and I'm looking at it like he didn't really land on his shoulder. If anything, I thought he hit the back of his head
When
a little more.
when I saw it for when it happened in real time, it looked like it was a screw up. It was like, oh crap, and he landed, and just the way they played it good. I was like, oh come on, he's going to go out, you know, like this. It's going to suck. You could hear people booing,
Yeah,
you know. And it's like, oh come on,
because it's the exact same thing what happened with Penta and Solo.
right? And it looked good. Of course, I replayed it a couple times. It's like, it's kind of like the Liv Morgan where she got hurt and got taken out. It wasn't anything spectacular as far as ooh goodness, it wasn't like that. It's just some freak thing
Oh,
that happened.
she was just falling forward and
Right.
her hands to stop her, and that just enough to pop her shoulder out.
Yeah. So things that don't look like it's really
Yeah, like
human.
that night where they popped her shoulder back in, and Raquel was sitting there. She's like, "Okay, it's done, it's done, it's done." And yeah, that you could see the shoulder going back in there. Ugh, that had to hurt.
The whole Dom thing, acting and wind up being a work. You know, I thought was it surprised me. A little. It actually surprised me. I was like, oh crap, that's a whole work. I was like, and they played it good.
Yeah. Um, I noticed real quick that I didn't think that it was a legitimate thing because the referee didn't put the X up, um, and they kept the camera on Dominic. Normally, they would kind of steer away from him, and the camera was right there.
And it did show the replay a couple times. Usually, they're not going to do that if it's a real deal.
Yeah,
But
and
if
once Roxanne and Raquel got in there and started beating up on John, that's when I knew. Okay, yeah, this is this is what they're planning on. And
right,
then the funny part was Dominic mysteriously healed, came in, and went for the pin, and the referee wouldn't count.
wouldn't count. Yeah, I was like, what is he doing? It's like, regardless, you got to count.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that happen before, where the referee refused to count.
Yeah, he was like pissed off because he was freaking lying
Yeah,
about being injured and all that. That was definitely different.
it was. Because I was laughing with how the referee was reacting. I thought, okay, this is new. They have never done this before. Um, and, and now it makes me wonder: is this the same referee that's been in most of Dominic's other matches, where he's been doing the whole thing with the belt and the bell hammer and all of that stuff, and he's finally getting tired of it?
Could be. It could be the whole same thing. It's just a car thing.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, it was good. And see, after that, they went back and forth a little bit, and then Cena accidentally knocks a ref out of the ring, and
Hmm.
then you got Finn Balor and them coming down and interfering in the match, and Cena got the better of both of them, and then of course
Yeah, got them both up in the
F5? Not F5, that's Lesnar. FU?
A. It was originally called the FU. Now it's called the AA.
Oh,
Attitude Adjustment.
so
Yeah,
you
it
take
was originally called the FU.
you took both of them out. Oh crap! All this stuff's gonna happen, and Don's still not gonna win. Then Liv shows up. She got a big pop
She did.
coming down the ring, and it's like, and it looked out of place. She just jumps in the ring, and starts, you know, talking with Dom, and was like, what's going on? And then I was like, when I saw her punch Dom, I was like, holy shit! And then she's, hugging on Johnson John's arms and hugging him.
And then her face changed.
Face changed.
And holy cow, she looked scary.
Jumped down and kicks John low. And then she went and got the belt, didn't she? Yeah, she got the belt and hit John with it.
Yeah, after Dominic did the 619,
Yeah, that was it.
yeah, she hit John with the belt. Then Dominic did his splash. And here's what Chris didn't like. The referee is knocked out. She throws him back in the ring, and all of a sudden he's wide awake. One, two, three.
Yeah, he should have. The ref should have. Two things that I see they could have changed just a little bit. As soon as she hit him with the belt and take the belt and jump out, she should have went around immediately over to the ref and started getting him up. And the
She
ref
did.
could have come. It was a couple seconds because Dom was on top of Cena, and then she ran around.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
If she would have came out and hit him and immediately started making her way around the ring to go get the ref, Dom could have been splashing. And as soon as that was over, the ref could have slid in and acted groggy and not just like wide awake and doing the 3 count. The whole, you know,
But either way, that was a really good finish.
it was good. It was good ending to that whole thing. I'm
And
glad.
and now that sets it up for Saturday night's main event, which holy cow is only 10 days away.
Yeah, it's on
10 days
Thursday.
away. So now that leaves it open. Okay, will John win his last match or not? Because if he were still Intercontinental Champion, odds are he'd be losing the title on his last match. Now that he's no longer champion, all bets are off.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it really depends. I don't know. It's a crapshoot of what they're going to do with it. I see Gunther winning. That's what kind of the consensus with everybody is.
There's
Gunther
been,
fighting.
been some reports where there's a lot of people in WWE that are not happy about Gunther. So I wonder if they're going to do a swerve and give us LA Knight against John Cena.
That would be good. And then having LA win. Okay, so that would give him that because Gunther don't need that boost.
No, he doesn't.
Gunther's already that good. If they give LA Knight, and I think that'll give LA Knight a big thing to keep talking about him retiring Cena, beat Cena, uh, and then maybe give him a little title run down the line.
Yeah. So I'm hoping for LA Knight for that match. I think Gunther and John would have a good match, but I think it would make more sense for it to be LA Knight.
If John's going to lose,
If he's going to lose, yeah. Um, if it's going to be Gunther, I'd rather John win that one.
yeah,
Um, But for Dominic, that is a huge feather in his cap.
Oh yeah, that's
That
big.
yeah, that he beat John Cena, um, and to be his three of his last four matches, which
Yeah,
is
like
a lot.
I did notice last night. Um, well, last night I watched it on Raw where they showed Judgment Day outside, standing outside, and then Dom and Liv come pulling up on Lowrider, and they go over there and open the door for her, and they get out, and blah blah blah. She's hugging on Finn, she's hugging on JD, Roxanne, and she just kind of waved at, or not Roxanne, yeah, Roxanne,
Well, there's only Roxanne and Raquel.
Raquel. She hugged on Raquel, and then she just kind of waved at Roxanne. She didn't hug. She was the only one she didn't kind of shake hands or hug with. I don't know if you watched it or not.
I'm still waiting on Judgment Day to implode, and I
I
think now
see.
Liv is back. It's going to.
Now I did see towards the end of the match or the end of the show where talking about Raw, end of the show where Roxanne and Raquel were in the ring and Liv was too at the
Mhm.
end of it. And Roxanne, they were holding the belts up, and then Roxanne tries to give it to Liv, and Liv took it, gave it back to her, and then got in the middle and raised her hand. So I don't know. It's interesting to see where this storyline goes.
And that's because she wants the world title.
Right. Um, so
Yeah,
I can see
that Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer. How good of a match would that be?
that's coming. I don't know when, uh, but I can see that coming. That'll be a good match.
I'd
Um,
like to see that at the Rumble.
would you do that at the Rumble, or would you do that at WrestleMania, or with Rhea,
Okay.
or
Well,
would you?
so all right, so let's jump on that there for a minute. Who right now do you see being the winner of the Royal Rumble?
AJ? Becky's got the Intercontinental, don't she?
No, Becky lost that title.
So Becky don't have a title right now.
No,
Okay, scratch AJ then. So you got uh,
because
Valkyria,
Stephanie Vaquer and Jade Cargill are the world champions.
Bianca, Bianca for Jade, or
Able to return
huh?
if she is able to return. Remember, she had a setback on her finger. It didn't heal properly.
Oh really?
Yeah, so they had to re-break it and reset it.
I'm not sure who. You don't have anybody right now that's kind of feuding with Jade because she's just out there.
For Jade, it would probably end up being an elimination chamber match to determine her opponent. Um, I I would I guess I would have to go with Liv Morgan as the winner of the Rumble this year.
And she would have to go. I think she would pick Valkyrie before she'd pick um,
Yeah,
Jade.
I think that would be a really good match.
I'm not sure who they would get right now. All bets are off on who they're going to get for Jade. Uh,
I think her challenger will end up being through the elimination chamber. That's my guess.
I would say probably Rhea.
I don't really want any repeat winners.
But look at the roster right now. Who would be the best one to step up and have a good match uh, with her?
Well, Rhea would definitely have a good match with her, um, but I want to see Liv. She's been runner up twice now for the Rumble. I want to see her win one.
I see probably Liv winning the Rumble.
Yeah, because I want to see Liv win a Rumble. Uh, I wouldn't mind seeing Alexa winning a Rumble.
That would be good.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that either. You know,
I
we
don't,
can,
I don't know how well she would do with Stephanie or Jade. Um, but I would love to see her, like, let's say final six with Alexa, and then everything goes dark, and she finally turns into Sister Abigail. She goes nuts and throws everybody out.
that would be good. I would love, and that's what I want to see. I want to see Alexa move away from what she's doing and join the sick.
Yeah, and then the other pick is Chelsea Green. Remember remember from Unreal where the guy said the somebody comes out 29 and everybody is eliminated from the ring. Now
Hmm.
he comes out, Chelsea, the second she enters the ring, she's the winner. And then and then she could go out and say, I outlasted 29 other women and won the Royal Rumble.
And never touch anybody.
Exactly. How cool would that be?
That'd be a definite change on a story.
Yeah.
We never had an ending like that before.
I I really wish they would have done that instead of Charlotte winning the Rumble this year. But I get it. Charlotte returned and all of that. I understand that, but damn, that is too good of an idea. I know the guy said it's a terrible idea, but I think it is a great idea, especially for Chelsea.
Yeah, because you could have her walking down to the ring and not yet get in, and she's standing there, and the refs are telling her to get in, get in, get in, and then fiasco happens, and both women get thrown out. They throw each other out. They clothesline. That's how I'd do it. I'd get on the clothesline and do the running clothesline, and both of them fall out. And then you got nobody in the ring, and Chelsea's like jumping, looking and going crazy and acting, and just jumps in the ring.
Yeah.
You know,
All right, back to Survivor Series. So after the match was done, John John's left in the ring, and he didn't really stay in the ring to get that standing ovation.
yeah, I
He
figured he'd stay a
did
little bit.
like a little wave, thank you, and walks out. So I was kind of surprised that he didn't stick around in that ring for that standing ovation because they would have given him one.
Oh yeah, um, yeah. I would like to see him stay in there a little longer.
Yeah,
As far as match wise, the women's went 41-10. Dominic and them 16-40.
yeah, and that was just such a good match because they threw everything into that one, especially the whole um, Dominic undoing his shoe zipper.
Yeah,
Um, no opportunity for him to go after the ring bell because they were the ring away from.
right.
If they were in that next ring, then I could see maybe trying to do something like that. But there's no way he'd have been able to do that with the ring that they were in. Although that too would have been great, but that one's probably played out by now.
Yeah, and I like the way they changed up the ending. You didn't have you still had the belt in there, but you didn't have the same old
Yeah,
type ending.
basically turned John Cena's heel turn against him. I thought that was a good touch. And there was a picture. No, there was a video from. I think it was actually the Brock Lesnar guy, where when Liv is on him, and while we are seeing her face change, the camera on the other side is looking off like that, and his wife is sitting.
Right, I saw that.
Yeah, there's I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm not touching anybody.
Yeah, but damn it, if Liv were to do that with me, I cannot guarantee I'd be in control of my actions because she is wow. That's all I gotta say. She is wow. Um, Next match, Stephanie Vakir defending the world championship against Nikki Bella. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting much out of this match, especially after seeing how Nikki and Becky Lynch's match went. But this match was quite a bit better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, it has some good spots in it. It was to me, it was not the worst match of the night. Um, it was, and not to say that, as a general whole, the paper was decent. It wasn't like out of the park type thing, but it was decent for what it was. I'd like to see a little bit more uh, in the other three matches that were there that we hadn't seen in Dom, but they didn't live up to the hype that I was hoping for. Uh,
Well, wasn't it just a couple of weeks ago that Nikki turned on Stephanie?
right. So you didn't have a whole lot of time to really
Yeah.
build a lot to this match. I really didn't see any. I don't think there was any botches in there that I can remember.
I I do remember noticing that Nikki was in hell of a good shape. Probably the best shape she had ever been in. So she's been putting in the work.
Yeah, I mean they had a good match overall. There again, Raw's any of the Raw matches from would outdone that match, but all in all, it was a decent match. The one thing I didn't didn't like, I did, but it didn't just look awkward when she did the devil's kiss on the announce table.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
did it again in the ring. It's like, usually, you know, whoever she's doing it to has got their hand in front and they're sitting there, slapping. Nikki was trying to do something else with her hands behind her and doing it. When she was in the ring getting it done to her, I was like, I don't know how she's not hitting her nose, at least her nose, on the mat.
Wrestling magic.
Yeah, it was just awkward. It looked awkward when she was doing on the announce table, like she didn't know what to do with her damn hands.
Well, that actually led to the finish. Um, but one thing I did like was when she tried to do the devil's kiss in the ring, and she turned her over. Nikki kept turning her until she got
Right.
out of the ring. I don't think I've seen anybody do that before. Every other time she's done it, she turned and then started doing it, except for one person who was able to slip her head out. But I think that's the first time I've seen somebody turn and turn and turn to the ropes. Um, then she did that corkscrew moonsault.
Yeah, that Nikki was not in place for that move. You could see her kind of getting over and getting position, moving over there. I was like, come on.
Well, they tried to deflect from that with the camera angles.
Yeah, but I mean, they that's kind of a not really a botch, but it's kind of they could have done better with that by picking up slamming the body slam right there in the position where she needs to be
Yeah,
and then go do it. That would have covered all that stuff up.
it and that's one of the bad things about wrestling today is that they're scooting all the time to get into place. We never saw that back in the 80s and 90s.
Or did we just not notice it?
Uh, Actually, I take that back. SummerSlam '88, when Warrior beat Honky Tonk Man for the Intercontinental title. Honky did position himself, but that's the only time I can think. But you also got to remember these are old school, so they knew what they were doing. Something has gotten lost in the training and the work in what they're doing today.
It might be the the fast paced match the way it is now compared to what it was back then.
Right,
Because the lack of communication in the ring at any point in time can break down. Because
right.
Nikki might have like, what's next, and then see her getting out of the ring, going to the corner. Oh, I got to be over here. You
One
know,
thing I did notice um, about this was Nikki would have been in place if Stephanie had gone up the front turnbuckles, but instead she circled around and got up on the back turnbuckles, and that's where Nikki had to redo herself. That's what I saw. So I think on this one, part of that blame would have to go to Stephanie because she didn't go up that first one.
hmm
Um, I'll have to rewatch that and make sure that that's what. Actually, let me see if maybe I might be able to. Um, oh, of course, I got to go through a 30-second ad.
hmm
So, so while that's going, the men's games match.
And I started doing a count during this match. I started throwing out numbers in the chat, and I was like, "What are you trying to count?" It's like, super
I
kicks.
noticed that.
How many super kicks are we going to have in there? Because you got Jay and Jimmy both in there. Um, and the match itself as a whole was, to me, it was, and I think it has to do with the ending. The way it ended, it was a decent match all the way up until the end. When you have the mystery guy person climbing the rope or climbing the cage, jumping in and doing Seth's moves at the end of it, and then getting out. Um, it was decent all up there. I did not.
Waving
You
us
good?
in the comment.
Oh, um, I Lesnar and Roman coming in. You knew that that was going to wind up happening. Them two hitting each other. Um, I like the way he met outside the ring, and they started their little fight outside the ring, and eventually met
Hmm.
again. But after that, it was like Suplex City. It was spears, just back and forth.
Punch.
Yeah, it's just like this
But
is all.
the thing that I noticed about Brock and Roman, when they met, the fans were excited to see them. Would I be correct on that?
That is correct.
In the past, the fans were sick of seeing them wrestle each other. Three WrestleMania main events, plus SummerSlam and where all else they they fought. The fans were sick of seeing them, but on that night they exploded.
Well, that's because all the hype built up from the previous week, leading up to War Games. Seeing them, clash right before the match, um, and it was good. I like the who all they picked for the teams was good. Um,
Did you hear who was originally supposed to be on these teams?
Rollins was supposed to be in there in place of uh, Logan Paul, but of course he's going to get injured and he's out.
Austin Theory was supposed to be on that team as well.
Really,
Um, I think originally it was supposed to be Rollins, Braun, Bronson, Theory, and Drew McIntyre. And when Jacob Fatu was also supposed to be on the face side, but when he got injured, that completely changed everything. Because no, not Drew. Cody and Drew were supposed to have a singles match at Survivor Series. So it would have been Rollins, Braun, Bronson, Theory, and Lesnar. But when Jacob got injured, well, he wasn't injured. He had to do his dental work.
hmm
Uh, so somehow that did something to WrestlePalooza. So they moved Cody and Drew. No, shit. What was that report? They moved Cody and Drew up. Maybe Saturday Night's main event. That might be what I'm thinking of. And So they had done that at Saturday Night's Main Event and felt like it'd be too soon to do it again on Survivor Series, which I'm not really sure why they would have that level of thinking because they've had rematches the next night or the next week, and so I don't get that. Um, so instead of them having their own match at Survivor Series, they threw them into the War Games match, and they felt like that Drew would be a better fit than Austin Theory. So that's why he didn't return like he was supposed to. Because okay, that's what it is. Jacob was supposed to be on the Survivor Series team, but was replaced by Cody, and therefore that's how Drew replaced Austin. Um, Either way, it was a great match. I thought it was.
I thought it was good up until the end.
Yes.
I didn't like the end.
Somehow,
Um,
that ending just killed it.
yeah, and it didn't. You didn't even have a reveal that night, or the net, or at Raw. So we still have no idea who it is.
They're going to milk that one out. They're going to milk it out. But quite the swerve though by making him do the stomp
Hmm.
to make you think that it is Seth Rollins doing that. Um, but we know that there's no way that after having major shoulder surgery, he'd have been able to climb up that cage twice.
Right. No, that wasn't said.
Yeah. Um, my first thought was when this guy came in was that it was going to be Chris Jericho. That was my first thought. Because
Is
what
his contract up?
huh?
Is his contract up?
I want to say that it is, but I'm not 100% sure. He hasn't been there since April. He's been doing his concert, then he did his cruise, but he's been rather critical of AEW lately and has been associating with the WWE wrestlers. Um, and it's also been reported that he has been offered a contract by WWE, but it hasn't been said if he's signed or anything.
Now I wonder if they're trying to pull that with hopefully getting him signed and just having somebody stand in, for him right now until they can figure out, all right, if we can get him to be claim he was the one that did it, even though he's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
And maybe that's why they didn't do the review yet. Because they got like, this is our first choice, Jericho's our first choice. If we can't get him signed, then we'll have to go with this guy over here.
Yeah, but that was my first. That was my first thought that this was Chris Jericho, and I was expecting him to pull off the mask, but this guy never did and left.
Right.
Um, a lot of people are saying that it's Austin Theory. And did you hear how they identified that it was Theory underneath that?
Uh-uh.
They identified him by the shape of his butt. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
Because somebody actually posted a side by side of Austin Theory in his regular ring gear from behind, showing his butt, and then the picture from behind of the guy in the black hood showing the butt. And they're saying that's Austin. That's Austin Theory.
And it could be him under there. But there again, maybe he's their second choice in this whole matter.
Right, yeah. But
And
I find it funny that of all ways to identify somebody, that's what they picked.
you got some deep diving people.
I don't know.
You know, me personally, I don't want to do the spoiler. The glitching again.
Yeah.
Stop. Uh,
I
but
don't.
I don't like to have the spoilers. Like I tried to stay away from social media uh, yesterday up until I got to watch Raw because I didn't want any spoilers of what happened during the night. It's like watching if you know the end of a movie, why watch the movie?
See, I'm the opposite of it. I can absolutely know exactly what happens in a movie, and I'm not going to let that stop me from enjoying the movie.
I like it's funny. I'm gonna say this, but you know, you sit there and somebody asks you, "Hey, have you seen this movie?" It's like, I don't know, maybe, and we'll start watching it, and like, I think I've seen this before, but I don't remember what goes on. Little things will pop up. It's like, and I think it's got to do with age. Unless it's a movie like you've watched 100 times, like with me, Back to the Future, or the Karate Kids, or the Friday series. I know exactly what I remember all those.
Hmm.
It's like just a random movie. Have you seen this movie? It's like, maybe. Yeah, I think I have seen this one, but I don't remember what happens. So it's like watching a whole new movie over, even though you've seen
Yeah, for me, spoilers don't exist. I don't care. I'll I'll even read on the Wikipedia page along with the movie. I really don't care. You can tell me, oh, so and so is this guy under the mask when they finally do the reveal at the end. Okay, I'll still watch the movie. And so many people get pissed off about that too. Like somebody will say something about something in a book, and another person will comment, "Well, thanks, I haven't read it yet." Okay,
Well, read it anyway.
because I found this out a couple years ago. I read this. I read a book, and there was like a mistake in there about with the time zone.
Hmm.
It was somebody from Ohio calling somebody in Nevada. And in the book, it was a 4 hour difference, but in reality, it's 3 hours with the time zones. So I asked somebody, or I asked in a group page about that. It's like, you need to put a spoiler alert. How's that a spoiler?
That's not a spoiler. It's just a phone call. Huh?
Right. That's exactly what I said. It had nothing to do with the plot. It had nothing to do with the overall story. It's just a minor part that even if it weren't included, it would have no bearing on the rest of the story.
Hmm.
And the person's like, well, you just ruined the story for me, so now it's going to be another year or two before I bring myself up to reading it. Holy cow. You're real anal about this.
Yeah, that goes back to what we've discussed before about society now is so hell bent on being offended by anything
Yeah.
and everything.
It's like, wow, stupid. That's why I always say spoilers do not exist because it is not going to keep me from watching a movie, reading a book for the first time because I'm going to read it and I'm still going to enjoy it even if I know what happens in the end. I don't care. And if people don't like it, well, guess what? I don't care. It's not my problem. But well, that's
What
my
do you,
for the
so what do you rate the 1 to 10? What do you rate it?
the, say that again.
What do you rate the whole pay per view?
Uh, if I were to give it a grade, I give it a B.
That's my thought too. A B.
Yeah, it's not a bad event, but it wasn't a great event.
Right.
Um, and here's the thing: you cannot bat 1,000. You cannot put out perfection time and time and time again, because eventually you're going to come out with something that's not going to hit as well, and that's okay. Because eventually you run out of steam, and they probably did with this one.
Hmm.
Um,
I guess the next thing coming up is Saturday night's main event, which is on the 13th. Is that right?
the 13th, yes.
I will be.
So this
Is that on Peacock?
uh, is on Peacock, and for international fans, it's on YouTube. Um,
I am tied
this,
up on the 13th, and I work the 14th, so I'll probably watch Saturday night's main event on the 14th.
okay.
That Sunday.
Saturday is NXT Deadline. Um, so I'm looking forward to that one. Now, another thing that's hurting these PLEs is how few matches they're putting on and how many advertisements they're putting out.
Oh yeah.
I can recall a time where they would be getting into their fifth match after an hour.
Oh yeah. Back in the 80s, I mean, it wasn't uncommon to have 12 matches in the card.
Right. And we loved it
Yeah.
because
Now
we
it's
so
so
many people.
yeah, so much. You get to see a lot more wrestlers. Now the matches aren't as long, but now it's like advertisements forever.
I know.
Um,
And I even started listing the advertisements in our chat.
hmm.
So they did the 4 minute ad, which was not supposed to have anything to do with wrestling, but every other ad was wrestling. And then as soon as that was done, they showed another one for Saturday Night's Main Event, and that was in the 4 minute commercials.
Yeah, I think we were calling out what advertisements we're watching because when we're watching on different, I guess, different platforms or whatever, um, we're usually not in sync with one another. We're usually 30 seconds behind or 30 seconds ahead or something like that.
I was
Even advertisements.
actually ahead this time because before you guys are behind. Before you guys are ahead of me.
Yeah.
Well, I was actually the one ahead. Um, but I had to refresh a couple times because my feed got pixelated. Um, but yeah, it's so frustrating that they put out all these ads, stuff that we care nothing about. We just want to watch wrestling.
Yeah. Well, they got this whole selling ad type thing, the business side of it. Not like they're not already making a ton of money.
Yeah, well, it's times like this when I do wish that Vince McMahon was back because ever since he left, the whole ad thing had gotten bad.
There's a lot of things that's different, some good, some bad, with Vince gone. The ads is definitely a negative. Um,
And the lack of matches is one of them
that
too.
and the ticket prices. Um,
Yes.
I can't even afford to go to a house show.
No.
You know, it's just not going to happen.
And the problem is people are still paying them.
Yeah,
And because of those people, then that's just enables them to continue to raise the prices. Um, and I got mad at Chris during the show. We were halfway through the show, and I never once thought about this guy. And then Chris had to ask, "Where's Good guy?"
yeah. We didn't see him till late in the series, late in the show.
Well, that's because he was right in the middle instead of in the middle of one of the rings, like he had been. He was behind the ring posts,
Hmm.
and and that's why we couldn't see him.
And that's another thing. If I'm paying that kind of money, I'd want to be in the center area like he is, not on this side of this ring or this side of this ring, because you're at a disadvantage of watching the stuff right in front of you. You're having to look over this way or look over this way.
Um,
Gosh, darn! If you're behind the announcers, you're behind the announce tables. And you got matches going on in the ring way over. It's like that's
oh, that's the disadvantage of the side by side rings like that.
you know.
Remember when they were doing World War III in WCW,
Hmm.
and the way that they had the three rings? I would not have wanted to be there unless you were sitting behind the center ring and you had this ring right here, this ring right here, that you had
Yeah,
perfect right there. Anywhere else would have been bad. Um, but yeah, I noticed green shirt guy there, and then the bearded guy, and then that woman that you pointed out at WrestleMania with the bright yellow hair.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and I don't know. It's because of these people. They more or less enable WWE to keep their prices up so high where you have to have millions of dollars. There's no doubt that Green Shirt Smiley makes millions a year. He has to be able to afford all these prices.
Yeah. I want to go back a little bit. We didn't kind of skip my mind on the women's War Games match. I want to bring up Charlotte Flair's gear. Uh,
Oh yeah,
she came out and it was paying, I guess, respect to a little fan. I think it's a girl.
yeah. It's a girl who has a brain tumor, and I think they didn't say it on air, but from what I've read, I think it's inoperable.
Right. I saw some backstage photos and stuff of her meeting with the family and the little girl and all that. But I thought that was really cool. And she stopped and talked to her on the way down to the ring for a couple minutes or a couple seconds. But I started noticing when Flair got in there, it's like, all right, well, and her gear was white and very uh, colorful as far
Mhm.
as like the print and all that. And I started noticing a little trend that she wasn't the only one that kind of had that same
Yeah.
scheme.
Well,
Um,
They said that the girl designed it.
Yeah. Some of the other women wrestlers had some of that, not completely like Flair did, but you could see some hint of the coloration in some of their gear.
Someone, maybe Chris, said that Io Sky was wearing Hulk Hogan colors. I didn't really see that. I seen the
Yeah.
colors, but I didn't see it as that kind of a scheme.
Of course, Rhea had the Terrifier look to it. Um, even Nia Jax come out there, and of course, made a comment about that, but Nia Jax coming with all this big white outfit.
That was actually a color scheme that the Pa- Padres wore.
Okay.
Somebody pointed that out. Let's see. Um, okay, let me. Oh, okay, that's better. So is this part right here?
Mm-hmm.
So she was kind of going with that kind of color scheme. Yeah,
I can see that.
but the way that they designed hers is like accentuating certain parts of her. Um, but and I know a lot of people they talk about this. They really shouldn't be because Naya is a big girl. But this outfit, you could tell she's lost a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yet they still want to fat shame her. I don't get it. But that's
Now
how,
you think back in the '80s, '90s, we had Earthquake and Typhoon, Big Boss Man, One Man Gang.
I know.
You know,
But at that time, people weren't talking about, oh, this person is fat
right.
like they do now. Um,
I think in general it's probably different from men's wrestling to female wrestlers. And you've got this idea that all the women wrestlers have got to be good looking, thin, athletic, uh, as opposed to like Dewdrop and Naya.
yeah,
And see anybody fat shaming Yokozuna.
yeah. But
Or,
well, okay,
or
so
Andre.
Piper Niven, she does great things despite her size.
Mm-hmm.
Naya, she uses it to her advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and lots of them do. But there are very few bigger people who move in a way they never should be able to. Look how fast Earthquake was.
Mm-hmm.
He could do a drop kick for as big as he was. Yokozuna, um, Big Van Vader, Bam Bam Bigelow doing moonsaults off the top rope.
Well, look at Ivor.
Another great example.
You know, he should not be able to move like he does,
Right.
with being as big as he is. Um, I'm sure things like that is going to take a bigger toll on his career than it would be somebody like Shawn Michaels
Right.
because of the weight on his knees and everything else.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he's had neck surgery.
oh, speaking of neck surgery, there was a kind of a nasty spill or that was weird.
What?
A screen popped up on my computer and then it went away.
Huh.
Like it was open the window. But Braun Breaker took a nasty bump on the back of his neck
He did.
during that match. It was like, and he gave a hell of a damn promo last night at the end of Raw. It was on fire. It was good.
I think that promo was what broke him out.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, he had that whole persona of really being pissed off. Um, it was good to see that part of him coming out because people had talked about he couldn't give a good promo. Well, he did last night.
Hmm.
Uh,
Well, you could tell throughout the past couple of years that he's getting right up there, but he's just not able to break out.
right.
I would say Monday night he broke out of it just from that one promo.
Which those in this whole thing where they got a match, him and Punk's got a match in January, apparently for the title. So are they going to wind up giving it to him already?
For him, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to do that
It
on a
really depends on.
TV show.
It depends on what they do with. It depends on what they do with Cody. I see a Jay turning heel. I see Cody turning heel this next year. Jay to me is like right on the verge of it.
He really is.
Uh,
Um, I
yeah, I think there's a few more months before it actually.
I get all the chatter about Jay, how he's just not good in the ring as a singles wrestler. I get that. A lot of people saying that all he is an entrance. I can see that. Uh, One person on YouTube said that Jay was great and then he regressed. And that would probably be the best way to say it because he's been a tag team wrestler for so long. And then when he started doing singles wrestlers while Jimmy was out, he did really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then something changed. Something changed, and it's like his matches haven't been that great, which would explain why he's not the world champion anymore. And I get that. And it's probably frustrating to him too.
Mm-hmm.
Really frustrating. So yeah, something does need to change for him, and I don't know if he needs to go back to a tag team with Jimmy. 'Cause when those two are together, it's like fire. Uh,
I'd like to see them two get back together as a tag team and drop the tag titles on there. That would.
but I would like to see Jimmy get a singles run, like a real singles run, because he seems to have become the forgotten.
Uso.
Well, not just Uso, but member of the whole family.
Yeah.
So I would like to see him get his his shot.
I'm ready for Wyatt Sick to stop this popping up every so often and actually get some storyline in there with Solo's group. It's time. It's time to go ahead and start that feud up. They've been hitting at it for quite a while.
Yeah. And for a long time, it seemed like it was going to be those two teams in the War Games.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Um, but is
Mhm.
they saved the War Games for the main event, and neither one of those two factions are main eventers. Um, unless unless they decide to do a PLE that is nothing but War Games.
That won't happen for another year.
You don't think that would do well?
I don't think it happened for another year
Um,
unless you rebrand it, call it something else.
well, I would prefer they do War Games on another one and bring back the Survivor Series matches.
I agree. I
And
agree on that totally. I love the old Survivor Series.
right. And not just do one or two matches for the whole thing.
Do the whole pay per view.
Yeah, like what they did in the beginning. 4 or 5 of those, because those matches would last long.
Yeah, and people don't understand or know what we're talking about. In those where you had this team against this team, whenever somebody got pinned, they were out. The match wasn't over. You kept going until everybody was eliminated.
Right. So I was really glad when they did the Survivor Series match on Friday night, but they really could have done that as an extra match on Survivor Series and getting rid of a bunch of those ads.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And had another match.
yeah, um, but right now, and I have stated from the beginning that my pick to win the Rumble this year would be LA Knight with Sami Zayn coming in second, or like a second option to win. Now I gotta wonder about Braun Breaker because after Seth Rollins got hurt, they were planning on Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns main event in night 2 of WrestleMania, and Cody and CM Punk main event in night 1, which would be a change because the big title is now on night 1. So
Mm-hmm.
now that what's being reported is that it's going to be Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes on night 2, and CM Punk and Braun Breaker on night 1.
See, I don't want to see a Cody and Roman again.
Well, that's I'm actually excited about that because everything has changed. I didn't want to see them at WrestleMania 40 because nothing had changed. It's the same old damn story. Now it's different.
In order for that to happen, Cody's got to go heel.
And he probably
Probably, probably at that night. Probably that night. If I had to guess, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen somewhere big. If he goes heel, it'll have to be that night.
that would probably be the best time for him to turn heel, yeah.
And turn heel and keep the title. Because it doesn't make sense to me turn heel and lose a title. So why'd you turn heel? Unless you lose the title and turn heel the very next night.
Or he loses the title and then he turns heel immediately after and starts destroying everything because he lost.
Right. That would make sense too.
Yeah. Because this time Roman would beat him clean,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what sets Cody off.
Right. So,
Uh, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens in the Rumble. They may say They may have Roman win the Rumble, but I don't want repeat winners. I want to see new people win.
You have to throw him in the elimination chamber.
Yeah.
In the elimination chamber. I
Hmm?
can see that working very well.
The Elimination Chamber is going to be in Chicago this year. Just a couple hours away from me, but damn, ticket prices too expensive.
Put a double mortgage on your house and go to Royal Rumble.
Do what?
Put a double mortgage on your house and go to Royal Rumble.
Shit, I'm barely able to get by with the mortgage I got now. I know TKO is okay with people going into debt and running up their credit card bills so they can go to their shows, but I'm not going to do that. That's not going to happen.
Nope.
I would do whatever it takes to save money, and I am.
Yeah, with that note, we need to wrap this thing up.
Yes, we do. We just crossed 2 hours.
I got to get done before I go to class.
Oh, you got class tonight?
Yep.
Okay. And I gotta get to work.
You're talking about being busy. This week has been just crazy. Every day I've got something going on. All the way through. Oh God, all the way through Sunday.
Here's what my calendar has been looking like for December, and a couple of those I just added yesterday. Yeah. So, but I've had to cancel some of these things this week because of all that snow that we got hit with.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah, every day, every night.
All right. So when is your next day off for a show?
Won't be. Sundays are kind of hard now because I'm doing that Spark stuff on Sundays and it's very busy.
Did you say you're working on Sunday? This Sunday?
I am technically yes. Um, Sundays are getting harder to do. Um,
Are you going to be watching Deadline Sunday or Saturday?
is it on Peacock?
Yes.
If it's on Peacock, I can watch it. Um, Maybe Sunday night. Do we do a show Sunday night?
No, because Catherine does her show from 7 to 9. Unless you want to do it after that, I can do that.
Let's pencil that one on. It'll be still fresh in my mind and all that, and we can do it Sunday night after her show.
I'm looking at Deadline right now. It doesn't say anything about Peacock, but it says that it will be the first Deadline to broadcast on Netflix on international markets. Okay, so I did not know that.
I might be able to pull it up on Netflix then.
On international markets.
I've been able to watch Raw.
Well, everybody can watch Raw on Netflix.
I thought that was part of the deal too.
No, Raw is in America on Netflix.
Okay.
But Raw, NXT on Tuesdays, and SmackDown are on Netflix International.
Okay. Well, let me see if I can even watch the thing.
Okay.
Knowing that, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, the way that the event will be okay. Here it is. The event will be available to live stream on Peacock in the United States, Netflix in most international markets, and the WWE Network in any remaining countries that have not yet transferred to Netflix due to pre-existing contracts. So yes, it will be on Peacock here in the States.
Okay.
Uh,
I should be able to watch it Saturday. I got a busy day Saturday.
yeah, Saturday, and it'll start at 6 o'clock Central.
Okay. I will try to watch it
It'll
Saturday.
be their poster. But I'm excited for this one because they got those Survivor Challenge match. I really like those matches. And then you have Ethan Page versus Mr. Iguana. I really like Mr. Iguana. Tatum Paxley versus Izzy Dane. Ricky Saints defending the NXT Championship against Obafemi. And then the men's Iron Challenge is Javon Evans, Joe Hendry, Miles Bourne, Dion Lennox, and Leon Slater from TNA. And then the Women's Survivor Challenge is Sol Ruka, Lola Vice, Kaylani Jordan, uh, Jordan Grace, and Kendall Gray. So I will expect Javon Evans and Sol Ruka to win those two matches.
I will try to watch it Saturday. Like I said, I got a busy Saturday, but hopefully I'll be able to squeeze in.
Okay. Well, remember, it comes on at 6 o'clock your time, Saturday.
All right.
So, all right. Call it a day now.
Call it a day.
Okay, and we will figure out. Oh, you were trying to figure out when we can do our next show.
Yeah, it really depends on the 6th. It really depends on when I can watch that pay per view.
Okay.
Um, probably Sunday night after the other show.
Okay. Works for me. All right. Well, I guess we will see everybody Sunday night then.
On the 7th.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night or good day, I guess I should say. It's still,
You watch.
yeah, it's still morning to you technically, not quite noon.
It's hitting right at noon.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will see everybody next time.
Take it easy.